Dan doesn't want his crank blasted, so I'm gonna get the journals measured up, and then we know where we're gonna go. This drive side has a lot of material built up on it, so we'll see what's going on there. Pretty much gonna get dictated off this side though, as far as like what it actually was. Okay, so it was ground 10 under, and it's super worn. It's worn about 1.5 thousandths on that side, and this measurement isn't gonna tell us much. Whoa, it's worn even more. Yeah, so we lost a lot of material. Whatever happened, I don't know if this side doesn't look that bad, so the wear on that may actually have just been a poor grind job. Probably some automotive shop did it or something, because there's a pretty gnarly little notch in the radiuses, so I'm sure the wheel wasn't dressed properly. But we're gonna get this taken care of, so I'll take it to 20. If everything's still round, I should be able to catch it at 20. If there's some weird deviation in it and it has to go that much further, we may have to take it to 30, but I usually really try and get those 10 thousandths jumps. This camera really doesn't like focusing on things too close up, but I thought I would try and kind of show the amount of damage there, and then maybe you'll be able to tell, but the radius just doesn't look right. It's got this weird pattern to it, or like texture in it, but like I said, this thing just really does not like to focus really close up, so unfortunately I can't show you that well. I usually start on the left side and then go to the right side. I also will try and start with the more damaged journal and then match the good journal to it. Ironically, this one is both the bad journal and the left journal, so we're going to start with it. So I'm going to start kind of roughly zeroing it in before I bring in the other chuck and get it dialed. Something you deal with when you're trying to zero in a damaged journal is, or something that's severely worn, you're going to fight yourself back and forth. When I spin this around, I've got it decently back to zero, as far as the opposing side goes, but if you watch, it dances around a lot. It took a lot to get to where there was no scoring left. There was a pretty deep spot that just, took quite a while to get smoothed out, so I'm guessing we're probably close to 30. I'm going to go over to the right side now and get that cleaned up, and then we can kind of see where we're at. You can see how much better our radius looks. It's way better than the faceted journal that was on there. That radius looked horrible. So that's at least greatly improved, but Now let's measure it and see where we're at. Okay, so I got it measured up. We were never going to make it at 20. So we're already like 3/1000 under 20 finished. So I'm just going to go ahead and take it to 30, which is no big deal. You actually have one more after this at 40, but you know, depending on the life of this engine, I don't think this guy has anything to worry about. So nothing wrong with that. I'm going to go ahead and get my grind gauge set up, and then hopefully I can kind of set it up so you can see how that looks as you go, but it's really hard to frame, you know, each step of this without blocking my view, so that's more important than this stupid camera. We got it set up. We're 6.5 thousandths away from what we want, and so you can't really see that, but what I'm going to do is come back in contact with the journal, then I'll drop down and put my grinder gauge on, and then I'll take the right half of the journal to 2 thousandths away from the goal. Then we'll jump back over to the left half, grind to 0, and then traverse grind or phase grind. I don't know. There's a bunch of different terminology. The guy who taught me called it a phase grind from you know, one side to the next. But yeah, so 2 thousandths left on this side, 0 on this side, and then come across and 0 it all out. So I don't know how I can show you this, but we'll try. You guys are going to hate me by the end of this because I'm not showing you anything. The main thing I'm trying to show, I guess, at this point is this is 2 thousandths away from goal. This is kind of like just a demonstration of like the step that's left between the two sides. So now I'm going to come over, knock this down to 0, which will then turn into, you know, the full width of the wheel, and then I'll traverse over to this other radius, and then we'll be finished. But if I stick the grinder gauge on here, you can kind of see how I'm trying to land to that 2 thousandths that we're looking for. So I will jump over, do the other side, and then we'll be done with this. Alright, so we landed right on the dot of what we wanted, so we are now going to take the other side to -30. I don't know if you can read that or not. Also, if you don't know how to read a micrometer, you should learn. It's really fun. Decimals are way cooler than fractions, so fuck fractions. Anyway, landed perfectly where I wanted to. That means our grinder gauge is dialed in for the next side, so we're going to go over to that timing side journal, get it zeroed in, and then we can get to grinding. This is a great example of when a journal isn't super damaged. I don't know how good of a job I did showing the damaged one bouncing around and all over the place, but if you can see on this, it's significantly better. You know, this side clearly didn't suffer nearly as much. Alright, there we go. Timing side's done. So now they both just need polished. I gotta take them out, rinse it off, get all the coolant off of it so you don't burn it when you polish it. But very happy with how it turned out. Somebody has already kind of done pretty deep chamfers on the oiling holes. Normally I'll take a stone and, you know, put a little depth in those, but there's quite a bit left. Somebody really went deep previously, so. Well, Dan's super easy to work with, and that means I'm done with this one. I don't have to put a flywheel back on. I don't have to put a sludge trap in. He will do everything for himself. So I am done with this, and now I'm going to move on to some of those other ones. I don't know how this is going to go together for a complete video of me grinding a crank, but hopefully you get an idea. I'll probably do another one, just so then that way anything that I feel like I missed, maybe I'll get on the second one. But you're going to get a couple different crank videos from me then. But yeah, I'm very pleased with it. 30 under, good to go.